All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha-Rekah, HaKodash, double honors to apostles and elders, a great Muslim who taught us his truth. But shalom to y'all, to push the word across the four corners of this globe with all truth and sincerity. Bahashem, Ha-Rekah, HaKodash. I'm going to get to the precept of Ezekiel 9 and 4. Pretty much, I'm saying, the time that we're living in, the Lord is getting ready, to judge Jake upon the face of the earth. For those that's, beginning with, those that's within the circumcision, those that settled upon their lees, and beginning with us and on down to the regular Jake, that has no clue on what's going on, in the world. But this is Ezekiel chapter, I started at verse, it's like chapter 8. This is verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord Yahweh fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness, as the appearance of fire from the appearance of his loins, even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of the Most High to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. And behold, the glory of the power of the Most High. Behold, the glory of the power of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. And he said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. So right now, the Lord is revealing unto the prophet Ezekiel, the treacherous, sins and, iniquities that our people are doing on, on a great wide scale. Like look what, in today's time, just all type of wickedness amongst our people is being committed, man. Look at that in Second Ezra. Second Ezra chapter 9. And it's like chapter 15. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For it's like verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, man. Mainly, amongst our people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Jake make up, most of the world's population, man. You know what I'm saying? From the head tribe on down. And Jake is everywhere, even amongst us, the heathen nations, man. You know what I'm saying? The confusion of faces, ain't nothing but wickedness is being committed, man. So the Lord is going to, bring forth judgment, and punishments, man. You know what I'm saying? For the rebellious upon our nation. You know what I'm saying? Because he sent forth the prophets to warn Jake, and everybody looks at, I'm saying, the prophets is, quote unquote crazy, and, just loud, ignorant niggas, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no one taking, you know, the sense of urgency or fear of the word of Yahweh Hashem outside. You know what I'm saying? Verse 6, he said, furthermore unto me, son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committed here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jezaniah the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Like Jake, secretly worshiping their idols, man. And then said he unto me, son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, the Lord Yahweh Shemashah seeth us not. The Lord Yahweh Shemashah hath forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, and their faces toward the east. And they worshiped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And though they put the branch to their nose, therefore will I deal in fury. Mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them, man. You know what I'm saying? And, for all the iniquity that's being done amongst our people, you know what I'm saying? You move, Yahweh Shemi outside to jealousy, man, and to wrath, to the point of wrath, man. And this is prophecy, man. We're getting ready to see all hell break the fuck loose, and it's already all in the process, man. It's just any day now, man. Just fucking, because Jake is still not taking heed. Jake just going about life, in fucking la la land. Not taking heed to the prophets. Ezekiel chapter 9. Let's start at verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of, man. So who's really sighing and crying for all the abominations being done in the midst of? The elect, man. They see and they calling out Jake for what they're doing, man. They see the bullshit that Jake's doing. They understand that, it's wrong, to transgress against the Lord, man. Because they're the only ones that's holding up, that's seeking to live to that standard in these last days. To fear the Lord, man. And it's actually seeking to please him. But everybody nowadays, don't the name of the Lord is far past the average Jake nowadays, man. Eric calling upon JC, and you even got so-called leaders, that claim themselves to be in the truth. That's leading Jake astray, telling them to call upon Yo Play Yogurt, and saying shit like the name don't matter and shit. On top of that, I'm saying the Lord is exposing, these false leaders, man, and breaking up camps. And, I'm saying, because we in that time, man. Now's the time to get right and really discern, the right path, man, and start serving Yahweh Shemi outside in spirit and in truth, because all hell's getting ready to break loose, man. Yeah, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Say utterly old and young, both maids, little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And the angels are going to do it, man. Like that brother that had that dream before the Passover. I'm saying, where it was a gathering of all the Jakes that, that claim themselves to be in Israel, with all the camps, including, a great millstone, and, as well as the, affiliate camps, and I'm saying that the death angel was just slicing and dicing, but upon, the elect member, I'm saying the sword would just not even touch it, touch the, the man, and then, it would just, in one motion, bounce, not even touch the elect member, but just go, towards the, a non-desirable, so to speak, and just, just slicing and dicing, man. Hey, man, that mark, I'm saying that tawah, it means to be exempt from judgment, man. That's where we want to be at, man. Seeking the Lord in fear and trembling, so that, we be exempt from that judgment, man. Because we don't want to, end up being like those individuals, that be destroyed, man. It's going to be a terrible time, man. To be on the Lord's shit list, man. It's going to tell you that it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. You got niggas that's purposely misleading the doctrine, misleading Jake. Hey, man. I'm saying, so now's the time to get right, man. Start seeking Yahweh Shemi outside, in fear and trembling, That's what makes this lesson short. So I pray hope that your brothers and sisters find fine. Until next time, I see you, Solomon.